Hi, my name is Karnage, and again, thanks to Parker for all the work that he put in on this, trying to do damage control on this whole lease concept. In 2013, the city of Richmond spent $11 million to build a training camp for the racist football team from DC. That racist team is the third richest of all the teams in the NFL. But the city of Richmond has to pay them $500,000 a year to practice here for 8 weeks. That comes to a total of $4 million over the course of the 8-year contract. The rest of the year, that facility remains vacant. This space can and ought to be used as a homeless shelter and resource center for the poor, who represent 27% of our residents. Locker rooms and other aspects of the facilities make the training camp a huge improvement on existing options for the homeless. Oh, and speaking of the homeless, they're facing the very real threat of being evicted from Monroe Park by the Monroe Park Conservancy if City Council approves this bogus lease tonight. I have to ask, what kind of people spend $15 million on a racist football team, already the third richest in the league, but would rather put at further risk some of our most vulnerable residents in order to not spend $3 million more on Monroe Park? What kind of people do that? If the city of Richmond funded the entirety of the Monroe Park renovations, that would only be 2/5 of the amount being spent on that racist football team. If you choose to pass the leasing of a public park to a private entity made of the rich and the powerful who wish to silence and make invisible the homeless, you are engaging in violence, classism, and morally reprehensible behavior. If you support the racist football team from DC, that is disgusting and oppressive. The Washington, D.C. City Council in 2013 voted to condemn the racist name, and Richmond City Council needs to do so as well. If you support the construction of an unnecessary baseball stadium on historic slave market grounds, you need to step back and educate yourself on racism. If you think the public should fund a baseball stadium before our parks and schools, you are ethically bankrupt and have no business acting as a leader in this region. The Monroe Park renovations would cost 1/13 of the $80 million proposed on that baseball stadium plan. As my friend Gary Lama said, this city government is acting like an irresponsible person with a credit card who spends money on fun things like eating out and vacations and fancy TVs while ignoring their bills and their debts. This behavior is fiscally irresponsible and morally reprehensible, and I urge you to change your ways. Our public schools are literally falling down on and around our students. In Sunday's paper, Mayor Jones is quoted as saying that when the community regentrification takes place, that's when schools really start turning around. So according to the mayor, when low-income and people of color are forced out of a community by upper-middle-class white people, the schools get better. He thinks that the violence of displacement is necessary to improve schools. I bet if the mayor and council did not spend public funds on baseball, football, and tax breaks for Vulture Richmond, there might be some money for our schools, our firefighters, and our parks. I am telling you, we will not go quietly. Scratch that. We will not go. The neoliberal direction of this administration is creating resistance among the people, and we will not go. We will not be moved.
Next speaker, please.